back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm here to discuss the difference between aggregation functions and iterator functions in Power BI. In order to explain you that, let me give you an example and show you how they are different and what is the use case of iterator function when aggregation functions fails. So let me show you an example. So if you come in my Power BI and let me show you my sales table. In my sales table, I have order quantity and product price. Now my goal is to calculate the total of this entire sales table. Now for that, I need to multiply order quantity to order price, product price. And then after multiplying them, I want to calculate the total sales of that column. Now, if I directly use sum function for that, I create a new measure and I'll give it a name of sales figure and I'll write sum function and I'll try to calculate order quantity into order price inside this sum function. So if I write order quantity into product price, can you see that even if I'm writing product price, my column is not showing up? And if I go to AW sales, you can clearly see that I have a product price column, but still it's not showing up. Why it's not showing up? Because if you look at the syntax, sum function can add only one column, and I can give only a single column name as an argument. I cannot do any kind of calculation or anything before doing the aggregation. So if my criteria is to calculate few things row wise and do the summation after that, then I'll go to SUMX function. But if I tell you, let's not use SUMX function and do this using sum function only. So what I'll have to do? First, I'll have to create a column called sales. No, I was using measures. So let me create a calculated column called sales. Then I'll have to write order quantity into product price. And then if I click OK, I'll get a sales column. And if I go to table view, there I can now see a sales column. Now, if I want to do the calculation of this entire column, the aggregation of this entire column, I can go ahead and use my measure and give that a name of sales figure or total sales figure, which will be now sum of sales column. Now imagine I have created this sum of sales column as total sales figure. I'll drop it over here. I'll get the total sales 24.91 million. But for that, I had to calculate an extra column, and after that, I had to do the sum, which makes our file heavier and it's difficult because there are multiple steps involved. And it will also make our file heavier because I have created one extra column in my file. So instead of doing that much of a pain, let us now use SUMX function and understand how it is more efficient when a row level calculation is involved before doing my aggregation. So I'll remove this or I'll keep this for now and create one more measure where I name it total sales figure using SUMX. Now see the beauty of it. If I use SUMX function, and now it asks me for the table name and then the expression. So what does that actually mean is, if I want to do any kind of calculation, row-wise calculation, before doing my summation, I can do that easily using SUMX function. You can see in the syntax also, returns the sum of an expression evaluated for each row in a table. So this expression will be calculated for each row in my table and then this aggregation of summation will be done on it. So let me show you how can we directly calculate this same figure using SUMX function without having to make an extra calculated column. So I'll simply give the first argument as my table name, which is AW sales. And then I'll give it my expression, which is order quantity into product price. And I click OK. I have this. Now if I drop this over here, and I'm getting the same figure without much pain of doing any kind of or making any kind of extra columns or anything in my table. I simply calculated the total sales figure using only one function. So this is the beauty of iterator functions. So iterator functions are basically the SUMX, the X version of all the aggregation functions, and the normal sum, max, min, average functions are called the aggregation functions. So this is the beauty of the iterator function. It helps you to evaluate some things row-wise and then doing the aggregation. So this was the difference between aggregation functions and iterator functions. If you like these kind of short tutorial videos, then follow our channel and be a part of this series where we will discuss all Power BI functions or Power BI advanced functions in this tutorial series. Thank you so much. Bye guys.